Welcome back to Young's Crossing. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I know I did. I'm exhausted, and since I was so late getting my Christmas decorations up, I'm not going to be in any hurry to get them down. This video, I would say it's going to be different than it has been, but I seem to say that every time. But I think it's because I haven't really locked into the niche I have. It's so varied, but I started this YouTube channel in June of this year, and I was 66 years old. I'll be 67 in March. And the reason, what even made me think of it, my son was over visiting and suggested that my husband do a YouTube channel because he's got so much knowledge. We do the hydroponic gardens, which he does all the thinking on that, and he does it. I just pick it and cook it. And he does bees. We sell honey, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. And I think my son looked over at me and said, "Well, you should do it too, Mom. You're out in the bungalow doing things all the time. You could share that." And I think he just said it to be nice, but I am out here all the time, doing all kinds of things. And I just kind of laughed it off. And then I started watching more YouTube, and some of them I thought, I don't know if I could do that. I'm not smart enough. I'm not, I don't, I just don't know if I could do that. I'm not pretty enough. I hate my teeth. I hate my nasal voice. I'll sound like an old country hick. And I kept coming up with all these excuses, and like nobody cares about what I do. Everything I do is, old fashioned and not modern and up to date. But the more I watched YouTube, I found there are others that are doing that, and they have lots of viewers and lots of subscribers. And I thought, well, what does it hurt? Because after I retired about 3 years ago, I began to get, I never thought I would, but I began a little bit bored. More than that, I began to get lazy. Just nothing excited me. But finally, then school would start, and there would be sports and things to attend, and I love that. I love watching my grandkids do anything. I'd love watching them catch butterflies, whatever. And when he said that about the YouTube, and it kind of went around and around in my mind, and I thought, well, what would it hurt? When I first put it out there, not that many people are going to see it. Something to do. And that's what I like about it. It keeps my mind going, and I'm always thinking, what can I do? What can I do? And something will come, and I'll do it. Right away, I've got some really encouraging subscribers. I have one in particular that she subscribed to me early on, and she always has the most kind, encouraging things to say. And she doesn't know this, but she's a lot of the reason I'm still doing it. And then there's my sister. I always thought she's a talented one, and she should be doing this. And now she's actually thinking about it. She's 10 years older than me, and she was wanting me to help her, but I'm so new at it. I don't know. I guess we'll fumble through it together. But she's always been my biggest supporter and trying to get me to do stuff like this. And my husband's always supported what I do. He thinks I'm crazy at first, and then before you know it, he kind of, jumps on board. I just want to say that you don't have to be any certain way to do a YouTube channel. Granted, mine's not that successful yet. One day maybe it will be, but I'm mostly doing it just to keep my mind active and have a reason to get up and do something. And I never thought I would have to have that kind of reason, but Sometimes you just do. You just do. So I thought I would just share that with you. I learned as I went. I'm still learning. I don't have fancy equipment. That was another thing I was thinking. I don't have one of those fancy cameras, but I've just been using my phone. So far, it's good. This is my second microphone because the first one was really, really cheap. This one's a little better, but it's nothing fancy at all. And I bought tripods, and that's pretty much it. I haven't bought any of the special lights or anything like that. So the expense hasn't been anything for me. So I have plenty of inventory to work on. But the ideas, sometimes they're slow to come. And I think, well, they're going to think this is silly. But I give it a whirl. Just like for Christmas, also, I'm trying to learn new things. And for Christmas, my husband got me a silhouette cameo. And I was so excited about it. I'll insert a picture of me working on that. I'm slow to learn new things, but I'll insert it right here, and then we'll do something else. As you saw by that video, I just kind of sit and stare at it because I don't know how to work it. My daughter-in-law was kind enough to come over and give me a brief tutorial on it, and it just went in one ear and out the other. It was over my head. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on trying to learn, and maybe eventually I'll learn to do something with it. We'll see. But like I said, I'm more old school, and I just used to do things. I don't know why I did these things, but I like, for instance, I made, one year I made Christmas cards to hand out, not to mail. Postage stamp wouldn't fit. And I just made little Christmas cards, and it says, just a small note with lots of big wishes for you. And then it had my initials on the back. Now they have devices that you can make this kind of stuff. And I did it the hard way, but I enjoyed it. So anyhow, like I made the envelopes too, so I could put my little cards in the envelope and then give it to somebody. Then I thought, well, I need a box. I think I have one with stuff in it. Okay, this is a box, and I tied the cards up in little gold string thread, and it's all the envelopes and the cards. That was kind of fun. So I think, well, one, nobody's going to care about that. They know they have machines to do that. So that one was out the window, but I did enjoy doing it, and just thinking of unusual things like that to do kind of keeps your mind busy. But I did those years ago before I even dreamed they would have little machines or little tools to do it with. And I used to stitch primitive pillows. I would make pillows and do primitive stitching on them. And I had a website, and when I was much younger, I think I wasn't even working at that point. And I would stitch them all by hand, and I called it primitive stitching because it would look, like it would look primitive. Anyway, I sold many, many pillows on eBay doing that. And I remember I had a horse one that I made. And this was when I realized I was kind of behind the times. I had an old coloring book that I traced a horse, and I would lay my fabric on it and trace around, tracing the horse. And then I would do the primitive stitching all the way around. make a pillow, because I made lots and lots of pillows, and stuff it. And my sister had a booth at a craft mall, and um, she showed somebody there one of those, and they wanted me to make them one. And then it got to where they were having me make them 2 or 3. And then they would have me make, many more, and they would pay me for them and resell them in the craft mall. And finally one day they asked for an exorbitant amount, and I said, I just don't know if I can do that. It takes a while to stitch them. She said, you do it by hand? And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, oh my goodness, I didn't know you did it by hand. I thought you were doing it on your sewing machine. Well, I never had a fancy sewing machine like that. I bought my sewing machine back in 1976 from Sears. Paid $23 a month for a sewing machine, payments for a sewing machine and a washer and a dryer, because we found out we were going to have a baby. And so my machine is not fancy. I think I've shared that with you before, that I still use it and I love it, except it weighs a ton. And she wasn't aware I was doing it by hand, and I hadn't even occurred to me she didn't know that, because I didn't think of any other way to do it. But that's the way I did all my pillows. I would actually finally got the computer, and I was able to print out the saying or the name of the family or whatever they wanted, and I would print it out and lay my muslin on top and trace it, and then I would stitch it, and then I would sew the pillow and stuff it. But I sewed a whole lot of those. But now that's pretty obsolete, and so YouTube will fill my time other ways. And for instance, another thing I do is, if you have children or grandchildren, more especially, keep a journal. My sister, she always said I could write well, and she gifted me my first journal, this one, and I think it's my fullest, and it came at a good time. It was in '85. My son was 4, and my daughter was 7, 6, 7, somewhere in there. And we came out here to start building a house, and it was a perfect time to have a lot to say. And I would write down everything. I mean, the cute things they would say, and the funny things that would happen, and just every little detail that seemed kind of minor at the time. But I'm so glad I did, because when I'm gone, the kids will have it to look back on, and I remember it better. You'll help your memory if you do this, because you will remember the thing happening after you write it down. Just like in school, if you write your notes, usually if I took notes, I would remember it without looking at my notes again. And that's pretty much the way a journal is. And I don't know if my sister knows, but she gave me a journal 3 Christmases in a row, and I think she thought it was the first one. So I have others, and just I think I have 4, 3 that I've been writing in, and I have a 4th one I haven't written as much in. I may devote it to my YouTube journey, I'm not sure. But it's funny. I mean, just, I don't know. I really recommend. I gave the girls, my daughter and my daughter-in-law, each journals one year and encouraged them to write in them. I don't know if they have or haven't, but you don't have to be a writer to do it. I mean, I remember I remember I wrote in here once, my son opened the back door. I was doing dishes and he had something in his little fist and he put it on the table and started to go out. And I said, "Wait, what is that?" He said, "It's just a worm." And I said, "A worm?" He said, "Yeah, his name is Slimy Dimey, the magical worm." Now, why would I remember that? I wouldn't, except I had written it down. And then I write about when we have Slimy Dimey, the magical worm, we have his funeral and burial later on. Just silly little things that I think they'll get a kick out of when I'm gone. So when I saw on YouTube something about a journal, I looked it up, very excited, and it was junk journals. And so I've started one. I don't think mine's good enough to share or anything, but one day I might put more things in it. But I just tea stained is what I do. Some people coffee stain. I tea stain. And like I have some old hymnals and I couldn't bear to tear the pages out, so I just copied them on paper and tea stained them. And so I put them in there like so. And I put a couple of my little envelopes with the little cards. And then I have an old pattern, and it's not really my old pattern. I couldn't make myself do this, so I copied it on a tea stain paper. Then I had an old tag that my mom had put in something of mine, specially handmade by Mother, and a picture of my aunt and some old greeting cards. And I have a picture of my husband I'm going to put here the day we went out and looked at the eclipse, and then our eclipse glasses I put here. And I just open it up someplace and start doing something. And I need to start writing in it more, and I probably will. But what I did, I had an old book that we would never read, and I cut all the pages out and then covered it with some muslin I had that I had tea stained before. Then I covered the book with it, and then I had some scrapbooking paper that I put here. And then I just tried different things. I was trying some new stamps I had, and I had some old trim, these little flowers that I put on there. But to put the pages, I just fold those in half. Those sheets, 8.5 by 11 that I stained, I folded them in half, and then I put them in here and glued it down. But I took jute and tied down through it all, and then I just left it hanging out the bottom. But one day, maybe we'll make another one or work on this one, if that's something you're interested in. But that's pretty much what I had to say today. I just want to encourage people that age should not be a factor in you not doing YouTube. I mean, it's just something to keep your mind busy. You don't want to get too forgetful and just, stuck, or I didn't. And I encourage you to do so. My husband, I'm still working on him. Anyway, if he doesn't, I'm going to share our hydroponic garden this spring. And I'll try to catch him doing bees and honey and stuff. And I'm just trying to do a wide variety of things. I named my channel Young's Crossing Creations. And I probably should have just named it Young's Crossing, because like today I didn't create anything. I just talked. But trying to encourage you to create something, you to get brave and do a YouTube channel. And if you like this, I'd appreciate a like. And if you're not subscribed, I'd love if you do so. And I appreciate so much those you have that have. When my husband he watches a lot of YouTube. and um, he would see how excited I got when I get likes, and when I get a subscriber. He could probably tell you right now how many I have. I tell him all the time. And I'm not so excited to get enough to be monetized or anything. It just makes you feel good. It makes you want to carry on. And he said, "Oh, well, it helps if you like them." I said, "Yes." So bless his heart, he went back through several he had watched and liked, and he'd hit like because he knows how important it is. So if you could like, not just mine, but others that you watch, if you enjoy them, like, because that's an encouragement to keep them going. Anyway, I want to thank you for listening, and it's been a wild year, and I'm excited for the new things to come. I hope you have a happy and safe new year, and we'll see you next time on Young's Crossing Creations. Bye.